Good morning, everyone, as we get started up on this Thursday morning.
The big story we're following, the nurses' strike at UP Health System Marquette.
We have a live look throughout the morning in Marquette. The nurses union getting ready to strike at 7 o'clock this morning. That is just 2 hours away. We'll be joining Samantha Rivera throughout the morning for the latest on this developing story.
President Trump went to Las Vegas yesterday to comfort victims of Sunday night's shooting. Coming up, what he told them and first responders.
And there is a big deadline looming today about DACA. We'll have the latest on that as your TV6 morning news starts right now.
From Upper Michigan's news source, this is your TV6 Morning News.
Thursday morning, the big story of the day is the looming nurses' strike.
Yes, it's breaking this morning, just 2 hours away from that strike beginning at UP Health System Marquette.
So let's go join Samantha Rivera. She is in Marquette this morning, and she will be there throughout the day. Good morning, Samantha. It's kind of quiet right now. On this Wednesday morning, Alabama's special election is over.
Democrat Doug Jones has been declared the winner.
And also this morning, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein testifying today before the House Judiciary Committee. This is the group checking on the progress of Special Investigator Robert Mueller. We'll have more in a moment.
I was just wondering why they did that to me.
An incident involving the Grand Rapids Police Department and an 11-year-old girl has sparked outrage. Coming up, what the police chief is saying about how the girl was treated.
And one person dead after a fatal accident on M35 near Escanaba. That accident involving a tanker truck and a pickup. We'll have more as your TV6 morning news starts right now.
From Upper Michigan's news source, this is your TV6 Morning News.
Democrat Doug Jones has won election to the U.S. Senate from Alabama, according to the Associated Press. But the fight isn't over just yet. Alabama state law calls for a recount if the margin of victory is less than 1/2 of 1 percentage point. With all precincts reporting, Jones leads by 1.5 percentage points. That's 3 times required what needs to be there for a recount. Still, Republican Roy Moore is not conceding the race to Jones. The win would narrow the Republican majority in the Senate to 2 seats.
Here in Upper Michigan, a serious crash near Escanaba left one person dead last night, shut down part of M35 for many hours.
It happened near Airport Drive and the 3200 block of Lakeshore Drive around 4:25 yesterday afternoon. According to our reporter on the scene, a school bus stopped to let some children off. A semi-tanker truck hauling milk was at a complete stop behind that bus when it was rear-ended by a westbound pickup truck. The pickup truck driver was killed. Because of the time of day, witnesses on the scene say it's possible the driver of the pickup may have been blinded by the setting sun. No one else was injured, according to Escanaba Public Safety. Names are not being released at this time. A missing Dickinson County woman has been found in an area pond. Michigan State Police troopers were called Monday to a Phelps Township home for a report of a missing person. Investigators discovered 65-year-old Deborah Lee Deacon's body in a nearby pond. Police say there are no signs of foul play. The White House is defending President Trump's tweet about a New York senator, saying it's not sexist. Here's NBC's Tracy Potts.
President Trump's tweet about New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand set off a firestorm on Capitol Hill.
Grotesque. It took my breath away.
The president claims Gillibrand came to him begging for campaign donations and would do anything for them. Senator Elizabeth Warren called that slut-shaming. USA Today says the president hit a new low and is not fit for office.
He's used that same terminology many times in reference to men. There's no way that this is sexist at all.
It was a sexist smear attempting to silence my voice. And I will not be silenced on this issue.
The issue, 100 Democrats urging Congress to investigate sexual harassment claims against the president.
I think there ought to be scrutiny of the president, just as there is of anyone who is accused of sexual assault and harassment.
That's an issue that was litigated vigorously before the American people in the 2016 election.
The Senate Majority Leader says it's not their job.
What we're in charge of here is the Senate.
Gillibrand and a handful of Democrats want the president to resign.
He's a misogynist and admitted sexual predator and a liar. The only thing that will stop him from attacking us, because nobody is safe, is his resignation.
The president forcefully denies allegations by more than a dozen women. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
In consumer news, it's not just wants triggering credit card debt. 42% of Americans say making ends meet each month is what's caused their credit card debt. That's according to a new CompareCards.com by LendingTree survey of 1,000 American adults who do not pay their credit card balance in full in the past month. If you like Girl Scout cookies and Yoplait yogurt, you just might like Yoplay's newest flavors. The brand is introducing 3 Girl Scout cookie flavored yogurts this month. Our hot job this morning is in Iron Mountain. MJ Electric is looking for a full-time IT developer. The position involves system design, implementing codes, debugging software, and providing general business application support to operations. Candidates must be able to meet deadlines and have knowledge of SQL data and databases. Candidates must also have a bachelor's degree in business or computer science. You can apply through the website on your screen.
Well, it's 23 after, and on the way we're going to join Samantha Rivera. She is checking out a preview of the big Star Wars party, so hopefully the Force is with her on that.
Yes, that party coming up Friday evening.
It's going to be so much fun. But first, the Alabama Senate race, it's over. It was an apparent win for the Democratic Party as Doug Jones leads at the polls, a race his opponent is not conceding to yet.
We'll have details coming up at 6 Eastern on how one of the smaller fires in California started. We'll tell you what happened.
But first, after the break, tell you how exercise helps lymphoma patients survive longer. In Health, a new study shows exercise can improve survival in patients with lymphoma. Doctors at Mayo collected physical activity data from these lymphoma patients and found active people were more likely to survive than sedentary peers. So get out there and exercise no matter what. Well, coming up in the next half hour, Marquette drivers are reminded to slow it down when using the roundabout.
6 new ones this year. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Straight ahead on your TV6 morning news, as President Trump's Christmas deadline approaches to pass tax reform, he'll set off the final push today. We'll explain what's expected to happen between the president and Congress.
Your time is up. We will no more stand for this. We are going to scrutinize more carefully those who come into our country.
The Homeland Security Secretary has a message for anyone thinking about coming to America illegally across the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. And America's internet could see big changes as the FCC votes on net neutrality today. Find out what this could mean for internet speeds as Thursday's TV6 Morning News begins. The newly installed Homeland Security Secretary visited the Texas-Mexico border yesterday with a message. Kirsten Nelson took a tour of the border near the southern tip of Texas, where a fence already stands. She spoke about the need to secure the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Nielsen says the U.S. immigration system faces a national crisis and the country needs to step up deportations.
I have one message for those thinking of coming here illegally or in overstaying their legal visits. Your time is up. We will no more stand for this. And more importantly, we are going to make it very, very difficult to remain here unlawfully.
As prototypes are being tested in San Diego, Nielsen says she hopes construction can begin soon on a border wall, but she doesn't know when it will actually start. The name of the driver killed in Tuesday's crash on M35 in Escanaba has been released. 82-year-old Patty Fitch of Escanaba died in the crash that happened near Airport Drive. According to Escanaba Public Safety, a semi had stopped behind a school bus letting off children. The pickup truck driven by Fitch failed to stop and slammed into the back of the semi. No one else was in the vehicle. Witnesses at the scene say the setting sun may have blinded Fitch and she never saw the stopped semi. Fitch is being fondly remembered by many in Delta County. She was involved in many community organizations and was dedicated to helping others. Fitch was also heavily involved in scouting, the YMCA, the United Way, and her church.
So many good stories about her. I think will keep our community strong because of the way she was always giving, always looking for ways to help, especially kids, and just making our community a better place to be in.
Patty was unlike anyone else I knew. She dedicated her entire life to service. Everything about her was about serving other people. And I said, she's just such a light in this community.
TV6's Mark Cowman will have an in-depth look at the life and legacy of Patty Fitch on your TV6 News tonight. Investigators say no charges will be pursued after a false report of a person with a gun at a Calumet Township school. The Michigan State Police responded to Washington Middle School at 8:30 yesterday morning for reports of a person with a gun in the school and police surrounding the school. The report was found to be false and initiated by middle school students who were overheard talking about a possible lockdown drill. The students called their parents and said there was a person in the school with a gun, and in turn the parents called 911. Police say no one was ever in danger and there was no threat to the school. Coming up after the break, though, we take a closer look at the issue of net neutrality ahead of today's big vote by the FCC. Your TV6 Morning News will be right back.